Oh, look, it's Charlie the Choo Choo Train.
February 12th, 2017. Undead from Cleveland. You're listening to Video Game News Radio with your host, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Don Anderson.
And Larry Mack.
Okay.
I got a rock.
So we didn't have a show last week because Super Bowl.
I was sledding.
Brian was sledding, tubing.
It was great.
Was it?
Now I was actually able to walk now. Well, it was great till the snow started to melt. Then, I was going down the hill and also we just sort of slowed down and sort of just not quite make it quite to the bottom, which is sort of embarrassing.
Did you tube or did you ride one of those bobsleds or whatever?
No, we tubed. We didn't have bobsleds. They had tubes, but it's like they have these straps, so instead of like walking back up the hill, there's like a little thing that pulls you up there, almost like an escalator sort of deal. Thank God, man, because I went up and down the thing like about 12, 14 times, and if I had to walk up and down, it would have been like 3 or 4, and I just died. So, of course, I could smell that belch right through the fucking microphone. Anyway, I instead of dragging the thing behind me, I'm like carrying this big goddamn tube like a shield, because I'm trying to be mighty, and then the next day my arms just felt like they've just been like my little miniatures have been broken off and glued on badly. Like, oh God, I had to drive a truck. Sort of sucked. But I had fun. It was a great time. I hadn't been like doing that in ages. Like, you first going down the hill, you're holding on to the inner tube for dear life. Like, yeah. And then the second time you your arms are out like you're trying to fly and stuff like that. So, yeah. I had a lot of fun.
That's good. I haven't done
it. It's like, I got your message like, well, Brian's going tubing, so we're not going to have the show. I'm like, dude, I'll be fine by the time I get home. I'm like, no, I'm glad we didn't because... Wait a minute, is this the story of O?
Sorry, Ricky.
Ricky, yeah. Ricky O.
Sore and everything. Okay, I'm trying to get the list up here, but my one computer's getting real slow.
Take your time. It's your show. We're just guests.
So,
permanent guests.
Well, since we already started with how Brian's week was, why don't you just tell us how the rest of your week was?
So I worked. I heard you guys talk about Marco Polo, and a guy at work told me Marco Polo. So I watched the first season of Marco Polo, and it was really good. And then I watched Travelers on Netflix, and that's also good. Not as good, but good. It's watchable. That's the first season.
Travelers, is that like that old
right,
show where the kid's flying through with that guy?
The golden hand.
The open shirt guy all the time.
I had to remind this dude in New York. It's like, dude, it's a repeat, right? Like, it was an old show, and I started cracking. I'm like, you mean the guy with the gold hand? And they shot the guns, they were upside down, and he starts going like, yeah. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's like, they're time travelers that instead of coming back physically, they basically just possess a body in our time, and they're trying to avoid the future, which apparently is a complete fucking mess. And it's pretty clever, like how they do it. But there's also those times where, like, if they need something on the show to happen, and because they wrote themselves in a corner, all of a sudden the person they're trying to fight someone becomes possessed. Like, hey, I'm on your side now, So you got that bullshit that happens once in a while. But it's kind of interesting because they show like they're now possessing these people, but they have to live their lives kind of normal. And like one of them's like a teenager in high school, and the other one's this one black chick who apparently was being abused by her ex-boyfriend who's a cop who used to beat her, and then all of a sudden she's possessed, and they're all like soldiers. So he tried beating her, and she just kicks the holy shit out of him. Another one's like a mentally handicapped but oddly hot blonde chick who now has like, she's like a doctor, so it's kind of, and the other guy's an FBI agent. And you'd think like, well, obviously you got to have him so they could just skip around the law. But it's sort of like, no, people watch what they do there. So he's got to like try to do stuff and not get caught. And then you find that there's other people that went back in time, but they went rogue. So they're off, doing whatever they want, which I don't know how that works because anytime that these guys go off, they're doing stuff like they're not supposed to save somebody, but they decide to save them anyway. And also like, it's usually kids. Kids just like start going, it's like they have numbers instead of names in the future, I guess. You guys are basically not supposed to be doing that. You can totally hear like the voice sounds mechanical and stuff. So
imagine if we were all really numbered, like how long that number would be. You know what I mean? Like, who are you?
Well, they're like 4 numbers.
I'm 131 billion, 718 million. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm number 177667835721567.
Yeah,
Anderson, your fucking number would be like 8000885, so it spells boobs.
Yeah, well, it's an easy number to remember.
What's your name, Boobs?
But you can just call me 78. No, I know a guy named 78. He's over in Ireland. Oh. Well, then.
Well, that's Ireland. That's a video. Ireland even exists in this fucking future. They don't wear, apparently underwear is something that they don't wear, which was probably just their excuse to get chicks to be nude. Because it's Netflix.
Really? They had a thing where they said they didn't want women to wear underwear?
They don't say that they don't wear underwear. It's that they're just like, oh, underwear, yeah. They do shit like that.
About that.
But they don't bury you in that shit though. There's not like where they're trying to oh yeah, we're for the future and we don't have it because it's so much better, even though it's obviously not. But they do make mention of it from time to time. Do you remember when that dome collapsed and those people woke up just in time for the dome to collapse and they all died? And I just thought that sucked. Some guy was giving a speech like that. I'm like, okay, fuck, that sounds pretty whatever the future is supposed to be. It sounds pretty fucking harsh. Which is kind of, which is pretty cool. Let me think. What else? Not much else. Just watched a bunch of shows, drove around a lot, doing my thing, and trying not to be too weird. Trying to make sure I got everything done. I was supposed to get done. I still got to do my taxes. I haven't done that yet. I got to go take that sleep apnea test. I have to arrange that myself. I found out. I'm like, great. That's about it. I really don't have much else. Just
so you're not going to really arrange that sleep apnea
right.
test.
Kind of have no choice. If I don't, then I will lose my job. So.
Why would you lose your job? Because you can't sleep? It's weird.
They don't want to sleep at the wheel.
You'd be surprised.
It's because you post up all those Facebook things of trucks just smashing into things, exploding.
Yeah.
They're
funny.
They're like, why does he find this entertaining? Have you seen it?
Yeah, have you?
That one bridge that just destroys trucks all the time, though, is kind of entertaining.
That was great.
It's just some weird thing where people can't read that sign. All right, let's do our top 20 titles of the week drinking game. If you've never played before, it's pretty simple, basically. I'm going to list off the top 20 games, and if it's not a game, such as a hardware item, then you have to drink. This week, I'm drinking Diet Sunkist orange soda. Sunkist has caffeine in it, where Crush does not.
All night. It's going to be another rager.
It's going to be a rager. You guys going to Ringworm next Sunday?
No. Sunday? You crazy?
Probably not.
I was supposed to go. Yesterday, I was supposed to go to a driver's meeting, but the guy was flying in from Boston, so that was out.
It's at the Agora Theater. Rage. Do a balcony dive. Come on.
Right?
Come on. I don't know why. Why do they have it on Sunday? Must be cheap. Must be cheap on a Sunday. Try to book a Saturday. It's probably 3 times expensive and shit.
Because nobody works. That's why.
Well, the tour starts on Friday in Washington, D.C., I think, or some shit. So they just come through here.
It's just weird. Why would they start the show in Washington, D.C.? What's that about?
That's the record label. I don't know.
It's just weird. Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. I'm not probably going to go. So. Number 20, NBA 2K17, 75,000 VC, which is their coins or something. That's a drink.
These are coins.
Larry, what thing are you drinking this week?
What thing?
It's not even a beverage sometimes.
I'm drinking water.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm really not feeling well.
Oh, okay.
I believe I'm in some form of distress and should probably be
Destruction.
seeking medical attention instead of sitting here, but I'm not going to.
Oh. Well,
No.
I hope the water works for you.
So if you come to me and I don't answer, you'll
Looks
know.
like they passed out.
We just assumed that, you were just answered the door. It has nothing to do with you. Like I'm hiding. It's just, Larry just looks out the window. You look at the window. He looks away really fast. Dude, I see you. No, you don't.
I'm not here.
I'll be dead on the floor in minutes.
Leave me alone. I'm dying. You're not dying. Get out of here.
Number 19, eCash for the Nintendo eShop for the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS, $20. Not a game. Everybody drinks. John, are you also drinking water?
Yes.
And you're not in distress.
I'm always in distress.
Well, that's true.
It's good for you, though.
I just don't advertise it.
Number 18, Naruto Shippuden.
Oh, good lord.
Yes.
Drink.
Delightful.
Haragati.
Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 for the PlayStation 4. Number 17, Star Wars Battlefront Ultimate Edition for the Xbox One.
I know, right?
Number 16, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham for the PlayStation 4.
I think Beyond Gotham is the ocean.
It's where the sun shines, because whenever you watch Gotham anything, it's never sunny. It's always dark. And
Raining like hell.
usually night, but if it's not night, it's rainy and dark. I don't think the sun's ever shined on Gotham.
What's the weather like there in Gotham? It's rainy.
They don't have flowers.
Yeah. Well, they do with their corpse flowers. You pick it. It's like, oh, fuck. Ah.
They're all orchids.
Number 15, NHL 17 for the PlayStation 4. Number 14, For Honor for the PlayStation 4. Number 13, Lego Dimensions Gaming Capsule, transparent light blue. It's just a box to hold your toys. That's not a game. Everybody drink.
And it's light blue.
Brian, are you drinking your iced tea this week?
Yep.
Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Is it green tea or what?
No, it's just sweet tea.
Just iced.
Actually, I got that like you see all those iced teas are out, and I went to the store and they had Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. I bought it. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what my coffee tastes like, because I always forget about it and I drink it cold. So it's good. I like it.
I think they probably just take the coffee.
The old
from
coffee,
day.
yeah.
Pour it in the ice thing, and like
That's awesome.
There's the coffee for the day.
They sweep it up, or they mop it up.
Yeah, trade the mop in there. Squeeze
Yeah.
it.
Delicious.
Number
I
12.
don't know who's above. Somebody above me is walking back and forth on the squeaky board. So I'm like waiting for somebody to come crashing through. So if I hear you get me go, that means I got killed. So.
You guys don't have people above you, so it's somebody you live with, right? Yeah.
No, yeah, it's my girlfriend probably, or my daughter walking around upstairs. It's like, what are you doing?
If you had neighbors or something. Like
No.
you used to, like in Lakewood, right? That somebody used to.
Yeah,
live
I had that
there.
one chick that walked around wearing clogs all the time. So it was like I had a fucking, Clydesdale. Clog, 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 clog. I even told the guy, the guy who actually was renting the place out, I'm like, does she wear clogs? He's like, you have no idea, man. Day and fucking night. I'm like, yeah. You get those wood floors where you hear, he's like, oh yeah, that's right. She's still warm. I'm sure he never fucking told her to take them off. They're like, hey, we've got neighbors down below. Maybe not wear those fucking clunky things. I'm sure that didn't go over very well.
You got the Dutch living upstairs with their wood shoes.
Yeah, we fucking left finally, thank God.
Number 12, The Sims 4 City Living. Number 11, For Honor for PlayStation 4. Number 10, NBA 2K17 Standard Edition for the Xbox 360. Number 9, Bioshock. What does it say? The Collection for PlayStation 4. Number 8, Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 3DS. Arguably a game. Number 7, The Sims 4 for the PC. Sims always just appear sometimes. Like, people just go through this weird phase where they're like, I haven't bought The Sims in a while. I guess I'll just go buy The Sims.
I've never played it, but I've heard so much about it, and they get sucked in.
Seems like it goes on and on forever. Number 6, Dead or Alive 5, Last Round for PlayStation 4.
Bang! Then you're out of ammo.
Number 5, Lego Dimensions Starter Pack. That comes with the game, so that's still a game. Number 4, PlayStation 4 Slim 500 gigabyte console, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Legacy Bundle. That's a console, not a game. Drink.
Too busy.
Number 3, Nintendo 8-bit Link, The Legend of Zelda Amiibo. It's a game. It's a toy. Drink.
It's an
That's
amiibo.
the last drink. Not a lot of drinks on this one. Larry, you could have survived this one. Number 2, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire for Nintendo 3DS. And number 1, up 1,491% this week, is Battlefield 1 for the PC.
So 3 people bought it.
Yeah.
Arf.
Okay, so while my screen tries to refresh, Don, why don't you tell us about your week?
Oh my gosh. Why me? No, okay. I got food in my mouth. Nothing really. Nothing major. As usual. This past Saturday, was the father-daughter dance at my daughter's school. Obviously, not my school, but her school.
Instead of shooting at your feet, dance, bitch.
And this was the year where I didn't have to worry about dancing because she wanted to go hang out with all her friends, so it was cool.
You stood there by yourself like you did when you were on prom.
Well, it's just like being at the school dance when I was a kid. Standing there by myself, watching everybody else have fun. Like, oh God, I was
dancing with myself. Dancing.
I wish it was me.
You went there, tried to dance, and we're just like fucking doggy punch.
But so basically what it is I got stuck with the first parent or the first father of a daughter who was friends with my daughter, because that's, I don't know anybody at her school because she just started there this year. And plus I don't live out there. So whatever friend of hers came up to her first and sat down next to her, her dad followed.
Oh God.
And then all of a sudden it's like, well, hello there, I'm so-and-so. And it's like, oh.
I'm the CEO of a major corporation.
I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Don.
Like, were you stoned when you were talking to him? Hey,
gotta be awesome.
What's up, man? I'm Donnie.
Some people call me Don. Other people call me Tumbleweed. I don't know what it's all about, man.
Don just kept staring at the guy till he went away.
Did you ask him if he was holding?
No. Because I could tell by the way he dressed that he wasn't.
Dude, do you listen to Tumbling with Tumbleweed? Because I'm Tumbleweed.
Well, the thing is it all ends up being the same old stuff, because it's always like he sat down. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. Yeah, that's my daughter. Here's me, and that's my daughter. He's like, oh, that's my daughter. He goes, I don't remember you here last year. I don't remember seeing you around. And it's like, yeah, well, that's because my daughter just started here this year. And he's like, oh, okay, well, where do you live? And I'm like, Olmsted Falls. And he's like, huh? Because it's out in LaGrange.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Right.
And they've never heard of, like,
Olmsted Falls
separated parents before or something? Like, wait, you drive her all the way here?
Right. It's like,
you guys are those blasphemous types.
You enrolled her all the way out here in Keystone? No, I didn't. Her mother did. And that's because she lives here. Oh, where does she live? And I'm like, I don't know. Like around the corner from here. He's like, well, there's different boundaries, and it's just always sucky. It's always a sucky conversation because
he wants to talk to you about school district rezoning.
Right. And I'm like, I go, even if you live in Olmsted Falls, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that.
In the same city, I wouldn't care. And they don't get that.
What a fucking nightmare.
So, and it turns out he's like, oh, so where were you born? Where were you raised? And I was like, North Olmsted. He goes, oh, you know Frankie's? And I go, yeah, anybody who lives in North Olmsted knows what Frankie's is. Everybody.
Were you getting all cocky with it at that point?
Yeah. At that point, I was like, of course I knew what Frankie's is. I mean,
dick.
The guy was just like struggling for anything to talk to you about. So he's just like, I don't know who this guy is, but let me just make a conversation with him. And you're like, yeah, I know fucking that place.
I'm just shutting him down which way. It was. I mean,
why? I guess you own it, don't you? Don't you own it? You want to make fun of my life? Is that it? What you're trying to do?
You're the owner, aren't you? And I didn't know who I was dealing with. I thought he was somebody special because he had a suit on, and I didn't. And
what were you wearing?
I just had like a nice shirt with a tie and some slack, some dress pants, and the hard soled shoes that are shiny. Them ones.
Look like you borrowed it when you got out of prison.
It was the same exact outfit I wore at last year's daddy's.
It's the same one they're going to bury you in.
I don't know.
And most likely.
Jorts and a Metallica t-shirt. Why?
It's my nicest clothes. So at one point, the excitement of the night was when they had decorations all over the little cafeteria place, and they had all these balloons that were tied down with a weight.
Oh, that was it. You were taking the balloon. He's looking at you all weird.
And Sophie's like, I want one of these balloons. And I was like, well, just take one then. The helium balloon, just take one. She's like, I can't cut the string. And I was like, here. I gave her
a big knife out. I'll do it here.
I gave her my keys. And I was like, here, just use these to cut the nylon string. And so she did. And
hey, stop cutting people. I can't help myself.
As she does that, her friend walks up and goes, I want a balloon. She goes, okay, here you go. And she cuts another one, gives it to her friend. And another friend walks
punches her in the face. Psh, there's your balloon.
Basically cuts all the balloons off of the weight thing. She's sitting there giving them all to her friends and stuff. And then, like, all of a sudden, I don't know, the chaperone lady comes running around. You girls, put those balloons back. You're not supposed to take those. So all these kids are all freaking out and running away from this lady. She's grabbing the balloons, comes back to the table that I'm sitting at, starts tying them back onto the weight thing.
And she leaves you, give him back out again.
And then, well, that's the thing is I'm sitting there. Sophie's sitting next to me. She's got a balloon in her hands underneath the table while the lady's telling us about all these bad kids with these balloons. All these children aren't supposed to be taking these balloons. And she's just sitting there holding it under the table. I give her my plate. I'm like, why don't you go get me some more food, Sophie? She's like, I'm not moving. And I'm like, just go. They're not paying attention to you. You know, now's your time to go. She's like, no. So then all these other kids come up and they're like, can we get a balloon? And the lady's like, no, you can't have any balloons. And they're all looking at Sophie while she's holding it. And I'm smiling. I'm like, yeah, that's right. This kid's got a balloon and you don't. Punk. Move on. That was about it. That was the whole excitement of the night. And then going to Bob Evans afterwards. With a half hour before they close, and then hearing all of them inside go, shit, here comes some people. Like, I heard that
30 minutes before they close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was hungry though.
When you go to Bob Evans though, do you tell people that used to work at one? You're like, you
Yep.
know what? I used to work at one of these, and they're like,
I
oh
tell
really?
But then I win the lottery.
I tell them my last name's Evans. I once yelled at a manager at a bar because she lied to me about something, and I was like, I know you're lying to me. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And I was like, listen. And I just started naming like all these corporate people. I know so-and-so and so-and-so, the regional vice president.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
And they're just looking at me like, how do you know these people? And I'm like, because I work for Bob Evans and I know what's going on here. And they're just like, oh my God, I think he's somebody important. It's like, no, I'm not. Just kidding.
I'm sorry. Go get the dove. Release the dove, quick.
Go get the gimp.
All right, is that it? Is that everything?
No, go ahead.
Tell me a little story.
I mean, I had to have something. I had to say something.
No, it's good.
That's fucking funny.
Larry, let's hear why you're dying.
It's good to say that.
I'm not sure why I'm dying, but like all of my internal organs are just in pain right now,
Oh,
and
for fuck's sake.
Should I post it
My
on
heart.
Facebook? Because I'm sure someone will send a.
yeah, someone will send the paramedics or some shit to my house. Or that's exactly what I need in my life right now. So what have I been up to for 2 weeks? Well, the last 2 weeks have been most
Planning
of
my suicide on your show,
all
Kevin.
of the other 2 weeks. No, I did think long and hard about it the other weekend, but I think I'm going to wait a couple weeks.
Thank God, because it would suck.
You're going to wait for the weather to break so you can dig a hole quickly.
Right.
Probably
right.
smell really bad.
Just because. I mean, the arrangements have already been made. Anyway, so the last couple weeks, it's been mostly working too much, and then when I'm not doing that, going out with the people that I work with so that I can drink too much. And that's largely my life.
No house yet? Didn't land a
Not
house?
yet. I went out last weekend, and like I had a big giant list of houses, and I was just gonna like drive by and like check like the neighborhood and stuff like that before I bother, having the realtor schedule a showing or whatever. Because like there were some, like I saw this awesome. Well, I told you I saw the awesome one in Strongsville that the backyard is a floodplain.
Jesus.
I saw another on paper looked like a great one in Parma Heights, except when I went past it, it's on a corner with a red light, and I refuse to do that. So last weekend, I just drove basically from like Fairview Park through Garfield Heights out to like Ravenna and Streetsboro and back into like Cuyahoga Falls and stuff, looking at different neighborhoods. And wound up in Cuyahoga Falls, so I hooked up with a friend of mine from work, and we went and grabbed something to eat. And then she's like, well, hey, me and my sister are going to the bar. I was like, I'll go to the bar with you and your sister. So I wound up going to the bar with her and her sister all night. And
Honestly, you would have gone to the bar without them.
yeah, but it wouldn't have been this particular bar.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, well, where is this place? Because, oh, no, it's right down the street. We're going to walk. And I was like, this is a horrible idea already. You may not be able to tell by looking at me. I'm not a big walker. But
So
okay.
whining halfway there. How much farther?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much exactly what
I'm
happened.
tired.
I was like, I was totally like doing the, save yourselves. You two go on without me.
Don't worry
I'm
about
done.
me. I'll pick up.
I'm done for. And she's like, Larry, we have walked seriously 2 blocks. And I was like, but these blocks were so long. So we get there.
Your feet start to hurt.
Yeah. Drink all night. Do some cheap karaoke. Way back, it's the same thing. It's like, are we almost to your house? And at one point, I was like, you know what? You and your sister are just talking to all these other guys and not me. I'm walking back to your house by myself. And so I did that. Except I apparently went the wrong way. So because she texted me, she's like, where the fuck are you? And I told her what street I was at. She's like, I live the other direction. It's like, fuck. Hold on, I'm turning around then. So,
just don't let everybody see you because...
Yeah, just because no one wants to be seen in public with me. You could have finished this.
Because they'd kill and eat you, probably. That's why.
So, yeah, that was last weekend.
Or the other thing, you know.
Then this weekend, Friday, came home and debated whether or not I wanted to kill myself again. The only person who would even give me the time of day and tell me not to kill myself was my ex-wife, who usually hates me almost as much as I hate her. So that was really encouraging as far as, the sort of impact I have on the world, that these are the people I can turn to. So I probably should have just killed myself. But then my friend Susie was like, hey, we're doing karaoke at the bar. You should come up here. So I dropped what I was doing and drove up to the bar. I was like, okay. And I'm putting my shoes on and stuff. She's like, never mind, karaoke's over now. And I'm like, did you text me during I was like, did you text me during the last fucking song or what? It's been literally 3 minutes. And she's like, yeah, it's already over. I was like, okay. So then I went back to...
I think that's like in the movie The Way of the Gun. The one guy's sitting there, and he's got a gun in his mouth, and he's getting ready to pull the trigger, and then the phone rings, and he's just like, see what's on the phone. And
that was pretty much my Friday night. So then I was like, okay, so I'm going to go back.
Don't die curious.
I was going to go back to this giant bowl of pills and whiskey. You enjoy your night. And then I get a text from her, and she's like, but we're still going to be here drinking, so you should still come up. And I was like, okay. So I finished putting my shoes back on and went up to the bar and drank for 45 minutes until the bar closed, because by then I was like, really, why am I even coming to a bar right now? But so that was Friday. And then Saturday, met with my realtor. We looked at 7 or 8 houses, which I trimmed down to 1 that is still alive on my list. I do have
alive.
Yeah, which is why I wanted it. I was like, this is the one for me.
You walk out here, it's just gone.
I do have. We are going down Tuesday after work to look at a few more. I'm hoping this week to actually settle on one and buy it, or however you do that. I don't know. Yeah, give them a check or my debit card, and they hand me keys or something like that.
Kind of information. Just take what you need.
Yeah. So that was Saturday. Oh, then Saturday after that, hooked up with some friends of mine, because the houses where I'm looking are Cuyahoga Falls and Stowe, and my buddy lives in Stowe, and I was like, hey, let's grab a beer or whatever. So we actually wound up going up to Copley to the Lizardville, and I gotta say, I thought long and hard about whether or not, in terms of my bucket list, whether or not drinking a $200 scotch was on there.
Jesus.
And I sort of decided in good conscience that I couldn't do it. I wanted to do it just to say I did it, but I couldn't do it.
Man.
Is that for a glass of scotch?
Yes.
Wow.
Although if anybody's looking for good Christmas or birthday ideas for me, just as a goof, I was like, I'm probably better off just buying the bottle. So, if someone would like to buy me a bottle,
you'll be dead by then.
I will be dead, so you'll be able to keep the bottle for yourself, and you won't have to feel guilty about drinking it, because you'll be doing it in you'd be like, this is for Larry, man. But yeah, a bottle of this stuff was $5,000. So if you're looking for a good $5,000 bottle of scotch, that was the 40-year Belvenie
One of those things you buy, you're like, oh my god, I fucking
That's right. I got a
I
bottle.
don't
Of
want that shit.
That's a
I got a
that's a marriage-ending bottle of scotch, is what that is. You bring that home, and you're like, look what I bought.
Guess what, honey?
Yeah. Where
That's what I got.
So hung out there, drank a bunch of different kind of
Sounds
whiskeys
smart. You
and
guys taste the cap in the back of your throat.
scotches, and came home. And then today woke up wishing that I would have gone ahead and killed myself because everything just hurts, and I'm vomiting up blood and organ tissue, and so I got that going for me. But there is some good news. Good Old Games or whatever was having a sale. I think this is where I got this. So I was playing the classic game Postal.
Oh yeah.
Which I never played before. It's just a horrible game. Like, as cheap bullshit top-down shooters go, this is still pretty bad. On a PC, the controls are pretty much unbearable. Like, nothing works right. The graphics are, if you haven't seen this game, it came out in like the 90s. And it's just a top-down shooter, and like the backstory is supposed to be like you're this crazy dude, and you got evicted from your house, so you decide to wipe out the town because they're all a bunch of spies for the government.
Why not?
Something like that. The one thing with this one is, unlike a lot of shooters, the goal isn't to survive. You have to kill enough people on each level to advance to the next screen. So it's all about murdering as many people as possible, which means that those unbearable controls are shitty because you can't aim. Even if you could aim, the graphics are like done in crayon, so it's impossible to tell what you're shooting at. And then when you do shoot people, they'll still sort of crawl around on the ground for a while, so you'll be blowing this guy away even though he's already dead on your counter. So that kind of sucked. So, if you're looking for a 20-year-old shooter to play, don't play that one. Last thing. Probably should have done this. Probably should have led with this. It's 2017, so we got our annual producer's letter for Lord of the Rings Online. And this year,
They're turning it off.
we are celebrating 10 years of Lord of the Rings Online this year, with lots of anniversary stuff and two big updates. First one, we will be getting a new region, the Wastes, which is like Daggerland and like the Slag Hills of Mordor outside the Black Gate.
Where do you want me to go?
With some new dungeons. And
Dungeon Diner, we're gonna put you in there. It's your job to run it, keep it clean.
Is the whole like Frodo's journey in the game? Like, what I mean? Does it go from the Shire to the what is it? Mount Doom or something?
Mount Doom and Mordor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't over yet. They've been gradually. They'll throw out another piece. Like right now in the game, like it does start off with Frodo, although you're not on that quest, but you find out about it as like as the free peoples come to trust you. You start finding out about what's going on, but it's totally going on. And and at certain moments you'll intersect, like you're in Rivendell and you get to wave them goodbye when they leave and shit like that.
So if somebody assassinated Frodo, the servers would all go down. There'd just be the Eye of Sauron, and then it would all go off.
Well, the one, they're smarter than a lot of the online games that have like what was it, Ultima, actually put like Lord Britain in the game and somebody assassinated him because MMO players are dicks. So when you get to see Frodo, it's always like NPC can't interact with him, don't fucking kill him, boom. As far as the storyline, though, like right now, we've gotten to the point where we already had the Battle of Minas Tirith, and now we are camped with Aragorn, like outside the Black Gate. And the second update this year, which they say will probably be in the fall, we actually go through the Black Gate into Mordor finally. And there will also be a new playable race.
That's something to be excited about. Yeah, we're Mordor. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we finally get to go into Mordor, and like. In the last expansion, you could get like to the edge of Mordor and stuff, and it's totally depressing looking, which is kind of cool. Like that's what I liked about Angmar was it just looked depressing and shitty. So,
okay.
Hey, on a side note,
yeah.
I was sent by a listener, Dave, out in Colorado. He sent me
I'll show Dave.
Yeah, I'll show Dave. He sent me a package this past weekend with some things for me, not for you guys.
Underpants.
I'm not going to say, but let's just say he lives in Colorado. So,
Deodorant.
but he also sent me out 4 shot glasses, and this is why I was asking you if you were around there, Larry, so I could tell you about this. He sent me 4 shot glasses and a bottle of Breckenridge, Colorado whiskey, a blend of straight bourbon whiskey with snow melt from the Rocky Mountains, and he goes, "That is for the 4 of us for when we do game night again."
I'm in.
You're
So we have
probably
a
the only
bottle-
one in because the rest of us are just going to be on the floor. Well, Brian's usually already asleep by the time he gets
Yeah,
here.
I have to.
Come on, it's bourbon. It's just a nice bourbon.
I know,
Whiskey.
I can drink whiskey.
Yeah, then you really reach with the fucking Tums, like, my belly, my stomach.
Oh, you just get tired and sleepy face.
I just figured I'd let you guys know that. So if there ever is a game night again,
No, there will be. Cease just asked me about it. I was thinking about one in March, but I'll let you guys know.
As soon as I get my house, you guys can come down to Stowe for a game night.
you guys won't be interested in the other stuff he sent me.
Some of
No,
us
we
might.
won't.
I know
So,
you won't.
so, some of us were doing that last weekend too.
My
you're
week
talking
was kind of uneventful. I can't even remember.
You? Come on.
I know.
I'm sure you had 3 doctor's appointments, and at least 2 of them told you were about to die.
No, we're hiring a new guy for my department, but I don't know if this guy is going to get hired or not. It's one of these weird things. Like, I feel like I'm trying to like sell the guy to my boss in a way.
20 quant lose for this man.
And then, like, at the same time, like, I'm
me
not
go.
even sure if it's the right guy or not, So I'm, like, in between this, like, weird state of mind because, I don't know.
Right?
Oh yeah, I got a promotion at work too. So
Congratulations.
there you go.
That's why I went to kill himself.
So you don't have to clean the bathrooms anymore. You're moved up.
Yeah.
And I've been spending time trying to rebuild really old computers and make them into Linux machines. So it's real nerdy stuff, so it's not interesting for the show.
That's
Games coming out this week. Monday, multi-platform, we have For Honor. This is probably Tuesday. I'm just going to scoot all these to this because this isn't right. This is Tuesday. For Honor,
Kevin has decided.
Heartomics Lost Count, Ride 2, Semispheres, Sniper Elite 4. I've never played any of the Sniper Elite games because I imagine it's just a reticle on my screen that I move around a lot and just try to shoot guys in the head who are like constantly like moving, and it's real annoying. I know that's probably not at all what the game is like, but that's just what I have in my head. And then for PlayStation 4, Toy Odyssey, The Lost and the Found.
Oh.
Wednesday, we have Sky Sanctuary for PC. And then Thursday for the Vita, Kamitachi no Yuru Rini Seisei. Go ahead,
Well,
drink. Drink on that one.
Yep.
Let me bust this bottle open.
That's one of the reasons why the PlayStation Vita doesn't do well in America, because no one knows what any of these games are about. And multi-platform on Friday, Halo Wars 2. So, that's that. Dun, dun, dun. Got a little bit of news. Let's see. Valve is changing the way games can get onto its Steam digital storefront, as the company today announced it would be ending the Steam Greenlight program and replacing it with Steam Direct. Launched 2012, Steam Greenlight was intended to take curatorial duties off Valve's plate by letting the community vote for the games they wanted to see added to the store's catalog. While it's accomplished the goal of allowing more developers to get their games on the service, it was rarely seen as a perfect solution, with Valve telling developers as early as 2014 that it planned to do away with the Greenlight program eventually as Steam evolved. Sometime this spring, Valve will switch from Greenlight to Direct, which will eliminate the need for developers to seek community support before their games can appear on the storefront. Oh, great, so we're going to have a whole bunch of shit crap on there now. I mean, all those fucking horrible mobile games that we all see, Zombie and You, or Zombie Shoot or Die, and things like that. That's what it's going to be full of.
Larry Mack's sandwich game.
Some of my favorites.
These are a few of my favorite.
I'm not even going to keep reading this.
It's just too sad.
But Valve has announced that they're going to make 3 full VR games, full in quotes, And not a moment too soon. VR's strength may be flexibility, but Valve's reputation and skill can boost the game market like no other developer. That's all I'm reading about that. Because when you look at any of these like VR things, other than I think the new Resident Evil, all of them are like B-rated, kind of games. They're just games that you're going to play for about 5 minutes and be like, this is dumb. I'm not playing this anymore. I can't even play mine on my phone thing because it always says my phone's overheating. It's like, I guess I can't. I would just ignore it, but it doesn't let you do that. It's like, nope, shut it down. Go do something else. All right. Last year, the ESA gave away 20,000 tickets to E3 Live, a small event held outside next door to the Los Angeles Convention Center. It would seem that experiment has transitioned into full public access to E3 for the first time ever, something that many in the industry have been clamoring for. As reported by GameSpot, the ESA will be selling 15,000 tickets to the public starting this coming Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this is an industry trade show, and they're going to sell tickets. So instead of getting in for free with press credentials, you have to spend money to get in. 15,000 people. And the tickets cost $250 each. You people are dumb if you go to E3 and spend $250 to get in. But will be available at an early bird rate of $150 on February 13th. Dumb. Tickets will offer fans access to the show floor, panel discussions, and more during E3's 3 days. And more. Yeah, you can lay on the floor because there's no seats anywhere. Additionally, the ESA is partnering with games journalist Jeff Niley to provide attendees with access to special benefits associated with Kylie's own E3 programming, such as developer interviews and more, according to GameSpot. More details are expected in the coming weeks. E3 is terrible because you have to walk like a shit ton. Larry would hate it because of all the walking.
He would die.
There's no chairs. So
You'd come back the following time and you'd still be there.
You got to sit on the floor somewhere for a while, unless you can find one
I'd be like
of the
sitting
5
on like
chairs.
the steps down into the room. I'm like, I'll wait for you guys here.
It's awful. It's an awful thing. I never want to go to one again. If you gave me money and a free trip, I wouldn't want to go because I don't like to fly. I probably still wouldn't go if I did. Okay, Cleveland news. With tickets in hand, hundreds of Clevelanders visited downtown Cleveland's Red Space for the first ever Donut Fest in the city. 12 different vendors were presenting samples, and each ticket holder got to try all of the sugary treats.
Woo.
The donut vendors were Jack Frost Donuts, Mary Ann Donuts, Moxie, Becker's Donuts, Jubilee Donuts, Peace Love, and Little Donuts, Madison Donuts, George's Donuts, Holy Toledo, Bloom, Magnolia, and Brew Nuts.
It was a bunch of fat bastards.
First
My turn. We don't want a donut. Oh.
It's in Cleveland. Though there were the traditional glazed donuts available, many mix up the dessert for the event. Mary Ann Donuts shared their strawberries and cream creation, and Jack Frost had a smiley face cream donut. Brew Nuts sold beer-based donuts, but their merch, stickers, and T-shirts that said "Donut Mess with Cleveland" was even more popular. Many visitors arrived already decked out in clothes designed with donuts. Probably they should have got everybody there and called in the scoops, and took them all off to be made into Soylent Green. It's not really a thing
Green donuts.
to be proud for. Brian, you like donuts, don't lie.
Yeah, I'd eat it if they're green. I wouldn't care. This tastes like an old man.
St. Patrick's donut's green, isn't it?
Or orange. Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Oh, for fuck's sake, shut up. Shut up. Fucking politics.
Politics.
Make donuts great again.
That's that. So let's go to... there was nobody shot in the head this week. So
Time for a quiz. Brian, what did I just say?
there were some people murdered in Strongsville recently, but they caught them. guy and a
What the-
girl stabbed to death his stepdad, and they fled. They found the car in Medina, and I guess they picked them up in Ashland or something.
Yeah, the guy with the spider on his neck.
Yeah, a big tarantula deal like thing. Like, what's that
Jesus
about?
Christ.
People
Like
are
they couldn't just arrest him before he murdered somebody because you could tell it was coming.
right.
Like tattoo of a spider on your neck means I am about to murder somebody.
Somebody, anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you like spiders. You're just fucking weird.
That's like, his girlfriend's probably all like,
Looks
what are we
spooks.
doing? Oh, I just got to get some money from my dad. Oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Because
Comes back all bloody and stuff.
it's like, I can come in with you, and he's like, no, just stay here.
Yeah. you just wait, keep the engine running.
The engine running. I'll be back.
Cops all think you're in on it and stuff. You knew. I didn't know. He said it was strawberry jam. He had a peanut butter jelly sandwich and went out of control. Prison. Okay, hold on. I'm getting the email up here. Do.
Or the lack thereof.
Because
The
I
thing
got
is-
this thing with Google, and it sends me a stupid email with my 3 or my 6-digit password to get into my email. And it's annoying. But you got to do that because people take your email. And
This chick could have done so much better than the neck tattoo guy because she totally could have had me.
Yeah, that's. But you wouldn't take her for a trip to Ashland, would you? I mean,
You have to bury her.
I mean, obviously they got caught.
Like, dude,
I think that's the only reason you go there.
I just looked up some pictures. I would gladly take her to Ashland.
Everybody stops at Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
Yeah, I mean,
to be made
Hey,
to
baby.
cheese.
Yeah, probably not
I
a
got,
good
I got you
idea
some sharp cheddar.
to give up your car
Head cheese.
outside of Cleveland and then try to make it away because there's nothing between Cleveland and.
Oh
anywhere
yeah, it's a
else.
wasteland of fucking small towns, and they all have like a Cracker Barrel.
There is
That's
a
when you know you're in the boonies.
Grandpa's Cheese Barn's right next to like a Bob Evans. Or Perkins, one of the two.
Our friend Mark writes in to cable company at videogamenews.com. He says, this is a cable company. It appears we've made an error with Larry's bill, and we will be adjusting the amount on the next billing cycle. Thank you, customer service team.
We'll be deducting it from the Cinema Wasteland fund.
Oh boy, we're all in trouble then.
Yeah, we're all going poverty-stricken, like a bunch of fucking starving invalids on one of those British TV shows. Like, can you help me? No,
I only watch Benny Hill and Monty Python.
fucking Oz will come in and hit us with his swagger stick. Away from me, peasant. That'd be great.
Oz needs a monocle and a riding crop. That'd be perfect.
Homes for the poor, mister.
Could you spare a copper? Get away from me. How dare you?
Noble writes to Death is only the beginning at videogamenews.com.
It is.
Hello,
It is.
all. Noble here. Just a quick one concerning the sci-fi horror film Event Horizon.
That's
Popular
great.
theory among fans of the movie is that it takes place in the same fictional universe as Warhammer 40,000.
That's right.
Since I'm not too familiar with that game or its lore, I wanted to know if your resident expert, Brian, had
Yes.
any insight on a possible connection between the film and the game.
They compared it to the. Okay, so there's the Warhammer 40,000 universe takes place in our galaxy, sort of like an alternate universe. You know that part, okay? Well, there's also another dimension, which is the warp, which is what humanity learned to travel through, using a different type of engine, and you have to have another shield. It's basically like flying through antimatter, but it's a fastest way to get around. Okay, and explains a whole different way that they are able to do that. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, but in that other universe, there are what they call chaos gods, because they didn't have another name for them. Demons, they know they're not really demons. They just don't know what the fuck else to call them. They can't call them, oh, look, we're being attacked by the extra-dimensional aliens from another, then you're dead, because they've eaten you. They just call them demons. So, but it's, these other beings are actually created out of humanity's nightmares. I'm just kind of vaguely explaining it. They have a much more, better explanation. Doesn't sound so dorky. But anyway, in other words, this other dimension is sort of a hell realm. You have to actually have a specific shield up, because if it lowers, everybody on the ship is immediately just dead. Because these things will get into the ship and they will fuck everybody up. So people compare it to that because there's another dimension, there's another space, and this ship was possessed, and that's kind of a Warhammer sort of thing. But they're not the only ones to come up with that. Actually, the guys from Games Workshop will gleefully tell you that they stole the entire other dimension travel idea from the guy that wrote Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune. Well, that's the same thing. That's how they travel through space. They just said, well, we're going to rob that from them because it's a great idea. And I don't think Frank Herbert, if he was even alive or his descendants even give a shit, like, yeah, sure, fuck it, go ahead. So, because everybody steals from everybody else. And Games Workshop, if you go on their page, like, yeah, this is totally where we stole the idea from. They will say we stole the idea, and nobody cares. Except maybe some dicks in the United States who give a shit about dumb shit like that. But, so you could look it up on Wikipedia. Warhammer 40,000 does have their own, and they will happily tell you all about the warp, and you can look that up, and it'll explain it, and then you'll go to sleep. That's what I always do.
We're leaving.
We're leaving. That's the best line in any fucking science fiction movie ever. It's always like, we have to investigate fucking Lawrence Fishburne. We're leaving. Fuck this.
Okay, that's it for the show. We'll be back next week with more. VideoGameNews.com. Walking Dead returns tonight, so if you care about that, go watch it. And otherwise, football's over, so...
If you like it, buy it.
Yeah. Whatever Larry's going to do tonight.
Right.
Cereal bowl of pills. Put some milk in there.
Yeah.
Toy Surprise will fall out of his cereal box. Just distract him long enough to go to sleep.
I'm like, ooh, it's a bobblehead. my life has me. My life is like a bobblehead.
It's a sign.
I'll take solace in that.
Oh, my God. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks. VideoGameNews.com. Good night.
See ya.